Hi, welcome to Audiobook Academy. This is a self-paced audiobook. There's no need to keep an eye on things. Just pay attention. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Book summary of Tiny Habits by B.J. Fogg. Making small changes often proves to be the most effective method of achieving long-term change. Make your aspiration more specific. Investigate different behavioral options. Match specific behaviors with their corresponding actions. Begin with a small amount of money. Look for a suitable prompt. Successes should be celebrated. We all have habits or behaviors that we would like to change for the better. Increased consumption of vegetables, increased patience with our children, and earlier bedtimes are all goals for many of us. Why, then, do we have such a difficult time bringing about long-term change? According to Fogg, the problem is triangular in nature. First and foremost, we are far too harsh on ourselves when we fail. Take, for example, the process of losing weight. We make a commitment to get rid of a few extra pounds that have accumulated. But, after that, we go out to lunch with our colleagues and order a large dinner. After we've fallen off the wagon, we feel bad about ourselves, which leads us to return to our previous eating habits, which leads us to inevitably repeat the cycle over and over again. People do not change as a result of experiencing negative emotion. Second, we confuse our aspirations with our actions. According to Fogg, a behavior is something you can do right now or at a later point in time that is specific to that moment. For example, you can put your phone on airplane mode before going to bed in order to get a better night's rest. An aspiration, on the other hand, is something that is impossible to achieve at any given time. You will not be able to get better sleep overnight. Third, we set high-stakes objectives and rely on internal motivation to achieve them. Unfortunately, as we have all learned, motivation is a fickle and unreliable companion. It's fantastic in the beginning, especially when learning about a new behavior or researching an existing one. However, as we'll see below, motivation will not get you to where you want to go if you don't have a trigger or the ability to carry out the behavior. We frequently believe that in order to influence behavior, we must first address the issue of motivation. However, in reality, motivation is not nearly as important as we might believe it to be. But what is the best way to effect long-term change without putting ourselves in danger of feeling inadequate or relying solely on motivation? The solution, according to Fogg, is to make small changes in our daily routines. After working with thousands of people, Fogg has discovered that making small changes consistently is the most effective way to achieve long-term results. Building tiny habits, according to Fogg, is a straightforward three-step process. Find a moment that serves as an anchor. An anchor moment is either 1. A routine that already exists, such as brushing your teeth, or 2. An event that occurs, like a phone ringing. The anchor moment serves as a gentle reminder to perform the new tiny behavior. Make the desired behavior as small as possible. Concentrate on small actions that can be completed in less than 30 seconds, such as flossing one tooth or performing 2 push-ups. You must complete the tiny behavior as soon as possible after the anchor moment. Instantaneous jubilation. Something you do to elicit positive emotions, such as exclaiming, "Wow, I did a great job," or "Wow, that was awesome." You must celebrate immediately after completing the new tiny behavior in order for the new behavior to be permanently ingrained in your brain. The components of human behavior. When motivation, ability, and a prompt all come together at the same time, a behavior is produced. The Fogg behavior model, also known as the B== map, is a type of behavior model. For example, while exercising, Fogg received a text message from the Red Cross asking him to make a donation. Fogg already had a desire to donate, motivation, he was capable of responding to the text message, ability, and the Red Cross had promoted him in the first place with a text message, promotion, prompt. If the Red Cross had called, on the other hand, Fogg's ability to respond might have prevented him from engaging in the behavior. What's particularly intriguing is that the Fogg behavior model can be applied to any type of behavior, including those that you're attempting to improve. In the words of Fogg, the key takeaway, then, is that the easier it is to perform a behavior, the more likely it is that the behavior will become ingrained. This is also true when it comes to breaking bad habits. Watching television, for example, is much more difficult when the television is unplugged and in another room, and you have to carry it down a flight of stairs and plug it in to watch. Motivation. We've talked about how motivation is unreliable in the past. Despite this, we place a great deal of reliance on it when attempting to effect change. We mistakenly believe that motivation is, to quote Fogg, the true engine of behavior change, when in reality, it is only one component of the overall equation. In his research, Fogg focuses on three different sources of motivation. You, what you already want; others, what you want to be. A benefit or punishment you would receive as a result of performing the action, the carrot and stick, and your situational circumstances. For example, all your friends are doing it. No matter what kind of change you want to make in your life, matching your personality with the appropriate behaviors is the key to making lasting changes. The best behaviors to concentrate on are those that Fogg refers to as golden behaviors. 3 characteristics define a golden behavior. The behavior is effective in helping you achieve your goal, impact, you desire to engage in the behavior, motivation, and you are capable of engaging in the behavior, ability. Suppose you're trying to break your scrolling habit and you want to charge your phone in the kitchen next to your bed instead. The fact that you can motivate yourself to do something and that you are capable of making a change has an impact on your aspiration. It's considered to be a golden behavior. Ability. The reason why developing tiny habits is so effective is that it avoids the unpredictability that comes with motivation. The goal of doing 20 push-ups every day is achievable if you are dedicated and motivated to do so. But, as we all know, that isn't an unrealistic expectation. Ability, on the other hand, is the polar opposite. It's much easier to maintain control over your abilities when the habit you're trying to develop is simple and straightforward. Making 2 push-ups after peeing, for example, requires no motivation and is difficult to say no to when presented with the opportunity. If you're having trouble forming a new habit, ask yourself what Fogg refers to as the discovery question. What is it about this behavior that makes it difficult to maintain? Based on his research, Fogg has determined that our answer will include at least one of 5 factors, which he refers to as the ability factors. Do you think you'll have enough time to carry out the behavior? Do you have the financial means to engage in the behavior? Is it physically possible for you to engage in the behavior? Does the behavior necessitate a significant expenditure of creative or mental energy? What do you think about the behavior? Does it fit into your current routine, or do you think you'll have to make some changes? For example, many people find it difficult to exercise, not because they don't have enough time or money, but rather because they are not physically capable of performing the activity. If, on the other hand, they reduce the size of their behavior, they would feel more capable of exercising. Another question you should ask yourself is the breakthrough question: how can I make this behavior more convenient for myself to perform? There are only 3 options for this question. Improve your capabilities. While your motivation is high, take advantage of the opportunity to learn more about the habit you're forming by watching YouTube videos or joining a group of like-minded people. Obtain the necessary tools and resources. When you purchase Tupperware, for example, you are enhancing your ability to prepare healthy lunches for the upcoming week. Reduce the size of the behavior. Concentrate on starter steps, one small step in the direction of the desired behavior. Alternatively, scaling back means taking the desired behavior and making it smaller. Remember that when it comes to habit formation, small steps are more effective than large ones. Prompts. There are 3 types of prompts that we encounter in our daily lives. Person issues prompts. There are 2 types of prompts: context prompts and action prompts. A person prompt is a behavior that is triggered by something inside of you, such as a feeling of thirst that prompts you to drink more water. Despite the fact that it can be useful at times, Fogg believes that relying on yourself to engage in a new behavior every day is unlikely to result in meaningful change due to its unreliability. Anything in your environment that cues you to act, such as app notifications or a colleague reminding you to attend a meeting, is considered a context prompt. Context prompts, like person prompts, can be difficult to manage when you have a large number of them to manage. Fogg's favorite of the 3 is an action prompt, which is a behavior you already engage in that can serve as a reminder to engage in a new habit you want to develop. Consider the following example: your existing habit of pouring yourself a cup of coffee in the morning can serve as a reminder to start a new habit of taking daily vitamins. To establish a new habit, you must first determine which behavior it should be followed by. Suppose you're trying to read more. You might decide that a reliable action prompt, or anchor, as Fogg refers to it, is after you get into bed, which would be ideal. Once you've determined which habit you'd like to incorporate into your life, you can create what Fogg refers to as a tiny habit recipe. After I, anchor, have finished, I will, new habit. As an illustration. After I flush the toilet, I'll perform 2 push-ups to warm up. Following my car's stop, I will jot down the most important task for the day on my BlackBerry. I will floss 1 tooth after I have finished brushing my teeth. After teaching thousands of people how to find good anchors for their new habits, Fogg has discovered that when choosing an anchor, it is important to consider 3 factors. In accordance with the physical location, complement the frequency, and comply with the theme or purpose. In order to match the physical behavior, you must first find an anchor that you already perform in the same place. According to Fogg's observations, having the anchor occur in one location while the new habit occurs in another rarely works. In order to match the frequency, you must first decide how frequently you want to practice your new habit. To make it happen once a day, place it after an anchor that is scheduled to occur once a day in your schedule. To ensure that the new habit is consistent with the theme or purpose, you must ensure that the anchor has the same theme or purpose as the new habit. Because of their incompatibility, sweeping the garage after brushing your teeth will almost certainly result in failure. Emotion. In both our personal and professional lives, we are quick to point out our flaws. We criticize ourselves for failing to do or not doing something when it is necessary, for example, raising a concern during a meeting or saying the right thing to a friend who is going through a difficult time. Despite this, we rarely, if ever, acknowledge and celebrate our accomplishments, no matter how significant. The reality, which may be uncomfortable for many, is that celebrating our accomplishments, no matter how small, is an essential part of bringing about long-term change. In fact, according to Fogg's research, habits can be formed very quickly, sometimes in as little as a few days, as long as people are experiencing a strong positive emotion and connection with the behavior. As a result, it's critical that you celebrate as soon as possible after beginning your new habit or behavior. When you celebrate, you are able to summon a positive feeling from within yourself at any time, writes Fogg. This pleasant sensation helps to establish the new habit in your brain. When we feel good, our brain releases dopamine, we recall the behavior that caused us to feel good, and we are more likely to repeat that behavior in the future. To aid in the rapid and easy establishment of a habit in your brain, do the following. Follow through on your desired behavior sequence, anchor greater than tiny behavior, and observe how it changes over time. Celebrate as soon as possible. In order to celebrate, you must say or do something, internally or externally, that makes you feel good and creates a sense of success, according to Fogg. That could be interpreted as saying, "Wow. Good job," whether you say it aloud or think it to yourself. What matters most, rather than how you celebrate, is the immediate and intense nature of the celebration following the practice of the habit in question. Thank you for listening in Audiobook Academy. Please don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. See you in next audiobook.